What's up, Jesse for JP in the house? What's up, what's up? Okay, I want to talk about business in Japan. I'm getting these messages, and a lot of them are all the same stuff. So I want to give you a story about what happened, about something stupid I did in Pachinko. And then, but the story relates to what I got to say, and you guys figure it out, right? So it was a Saturday, and was there at 10 in the morning. You got to stand in line because if you don't stand in line, you don't get a chance to get your choice machine. Because when they open up the door, as soon as doors just start open, people just burst through and run to the machines and stuff. So I ran to this one machine. He asked me to run because if you don't run, there's a lot of money, potential money you're gonna lose. So we ran to this machine, and I sat at this one machine, and I started playing him, and if you get like three of the same numbers, then you get a chance to win. I think like $35 or something like that. And what it is it had if you get two numbers the same, like 7 7, then it'll be a three. It'll go bloop, and they call it punk. It's kind of funny because in the states, you know how in the states you got it punking, right? You got punked and stuff, right? So that's what they call it out here. So I said machine at that machine, and that machine sometimes it gives up a lot of money. A lot of times it don't. For the most part, it don't. And if it does, it'll give up like maybe $200, which may be like $4. But then people keep playing, and you just put it right back in. So it was a Saturday. No, it was not a Saturday. It was a Sunday. And on Sundays, a lot of the machines give up a lot of money. And I sat there and it punked like 4 or 5 times. And then I was thinking like, now I'm gonna go and I changed to another machine. And so when I changed, someone else sat there and he did it. And every time the ball went, it went bloop 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 bloop. And every time it means like 7 7 7 something, or I mean 7 7 3 or 1 1 5 or something. So the first two digits were the same. And so I was like starting to like feel all bad and stuff. So I just left. And then I came back at 7 at night, and my wife was still there. Everyone, the same people are still there. They just sit there all day playing. And I looked, and this guy had like anywhere between $750 to $1,000. Now I keep doing this with my mouth on this side, but that means I should need. I need it's itching on the inside instead of me actually sticking my finger in and scratching out. Just crush them together and try to get rid of it. So that's why I got those funny faces, those funny things on my faces when I do that. But anyway, I looked and I was like, wow, I made a mistake. Yeah, it was like $20, 15 to $20 is just around this chair. And I was thinking like, wow. So anyway, what's the moral of the story? Okay. So anyway, I get this. I get a lot of business ideas, and I mean, a lot of business questions and stuff, and I always talking about, well, I want to do business in Japan, and the only thing that seems available for me is to teach English because I don't know Japanese. And naturally, that's kind of true, and it's not kind of true because it's according to what kind of job you want to do. Because if you know how to cook and you want to go into a restaurant, and if they'll hire you, then because like they got these restaurants, like they might sell make Chinese food or whatever, and it's a whole bunch of people in there. Most of the guys are kind of old, some are young, but if you want to go in there, and they'll hire you, and but you got to get trained and everything. And as you work, and you'll learn them Japanese, and working with them guys, you'll learn your Japanese real quick. And I know a whole bunch of brothers. I don't know too many brothers, but I know a lot of African brothers who've done that, and they like their job and they're getting paid well. And so it's pretty interesting. So there are a lot of jobs that you can get, and you don't necessarily have to learn English to know Japanese to get a lot of these jobs because they will teach you if you can successfully obtain the position and things like that. And this Japanese is not that hard. Plus, when you're working and things like that, you're always going to use the same words and stuff and things like that. So anyway, I got a message from one of my subscribers, and they were talking about she got a degree MBA in finance, his sister too, and wanted to work abroad, and said Japan was on her list. And She said that the jobs that are related to her field requires fluent Japanese, and and was asking if she take a job. She said most likely she'll have to take a job in English to get her foot in the front door, and then to and use that to get a job in her field. And I was just talking to a friend yesterday, DS, and um, we were talking about business and things like that, and we were talking about English, and he started this English thing, and he's charging like $30 an hour for any type of English lessons or something like that. But I told him I couldn't do it because I have my own business, and I can't undercut what I teach because I teach for privates and stuff, 60 an hour, and basically we were just talking about that, and I told him, your prices for $30 and things like that, you'll have to really understand, that all teachers don't have the same experience, and some people have a lot of knowledge that will require more. I'm saying, like, you wouldn't want to charge a doctor teaching him medical terms for $30 an hour. People just don't do that. And he probably wouldn't want to, on a normal sense, he probably wouldn't want to pick you because $30 an hour is telling him that, hey, this guy or whoever this is isn't don't have any much business sense, or unless he meets the guy and the guy really does have a lot of he like if you meet a teacher and the teacher just happened to be a doctor, or happen to graduate in that field and can teach him the English the same words, then sure he'll get lucky. You know what I'm saying? He'll just pay the dude $30 and wouldn't care. But out here, most people charge doctors at least $150 per person. So if you have like 8 doctors in a classroom of four, and let's say you have four, that's $600 you're making in an hour, and it's by the lesson. And what I want to say is that um, a lot of you need to really start thinking a little more about, your English and things like that, because as you do teach English, especially if you don't know Japanese, and they might know a little bit of English, but they're going to also be teaching you Japanese indirectly until their English gets a lot better, and then they're just going to be just speaking to you in English. So there are a lot of opportunities, and there is a relationship to my story and to what I'm saying now. I hear a lot of people say, "Well, I just don't want to go to Japan and just teach English," and I think I'm like, "Okay, fine, whatever." And they say, "Well, I want to get a job in my own field in Japan," and I'm thinking like, "Sure, you can do that, but." It's not like you're just gonna come over here because you're an American or you from whatever and just gonna go apply for a job and say, well, okay, I got a MBA from Harvard or Stanford or wherever, and they're gonna say, wow, okay, you got the job. It's not gonna work like that. There are a lot of people here in Japan who are Japanese, who can spit that Japanese and probably have better skills and qualifications than you do. And the only qualifications that you would have over a Japanese person is the fact that you will be able to make connections for that company to the United States. But if the company is not doing too much business over in the United States, then who's going to win, a Japanese person or you? And if you want to beat out the Japanese person, that's fine, but you don't have to put in some work. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, and it's not, and if you don't get picked, I mean, oh, the Japanese people are racist and stuff because they didn't pick me. No, it's just because you're not qualified enough to do the job. And it's like anywhere, in the States, but in the States, it is a little different though, depending on what you look like and things like that. But still, if you got the skills, you can. Well, I want to say you can beat that. I want to say you could beat that, but I'm not sure. Hopefully, you guys heard what I said. These Macs supposed to be good, so hopefully you picked up on it. But in the States, sometimes because of the discrimination problems that we have there, or that's there, that can interfere also because some people will just pick someone because they might be a certain description over, and don't have the qualifications, you know, then someone who does have a qualification, but because they don't fit the description, then they don't hire them and stuff like that. But English is one great way of getting over here. You don't have to exactly teach English. You can work in the government buildings and stuff. Just be a translator for the English people and stuff like that. They have those jobs also. I don't know how to get how people apply for those. I think you can just straight apply for them and stuff. And they might say teach English, but if you look into it, because there's some white people, I'll go down to the city hall and I need to speak English, and they'll go upstairs and grab some white guy, and he'll come down and we'll start talking and stuff, and he'll explain it to, I'll explain what I need, and he'll translate into Japanese, like, oh, okay, and some of these guys don't like their job. They're getting paid some good money, but they don't like it because it's boring and things like that. So basically, what I'm saying, if English is a way for you to get over here, then fine, do it. But don't think that English is. I mean, I don't see why would you get embarrassed about working, teaching English anyway. Because if you're like, I talked to one of my friends up in Turkey, and he was saying he was working at some school district, and he was getting $3,400 a month just teaching. And he might be there 8 hours, but he'll probably have like only 2 classes or 3 classes, and most of the time he'll just sit there or stand there and might say a word, degree, degree, or some teachers do a little bit more, and they getting paid a lot of money for doing that, and so a lot of people are like, well, I don't like teaching English, and I'm thinking like, well, what are you thinking about, and it goes back to the my story, if you guys haven't figured it out. The reason I didn't sit at the machine was because I knew that it was going to give up some money, but I was thinking it was going to give up $200 instead of and I wanted at least $800 or $1,000 or something. But the whole point is, it doesn't matter how much money, because I know I wouldn't have spent no more than $30, and even if I would have won $200, it's still $170 that could have been in my pocket, So what I did was basically I just passed up money, passed up an opportunity, and teaching English is a great opportunity. I talked to some friends the other day, and I told them that I could show them how to. I said, if I show you how to make $1,000 and $10,000 a month teaching English, would you give me 10% for 2 years? And one guy was like, okay. The other guy, after he heard what I said, he was like, oh, that's stupid. Everybody knows that, And I'm like, okay, fine, and the whole thing is, and then I asked another friend, and he emailed me later, and he said, well, I have my own ways of making money. And I told them both, I said, I'll tell you exactly what to do, and I'll give you the support, how to help you with the flyers, help you with the lessons, provide you the materials. And I said, just for 2 years, just give me 10 months. If the first month you only make $500, just give me 50. If you never even make 10,000, just make 10. But if you do what you're gonna do, I said that's only from one store. But let's say like 6 months later, if you get someone that's really intelligent and they start opening up other schools and stuff, that money from those other schools I don't need. That's not what I'm concerned. I just want the one from helping you. And then um, if you use the other schools, and if you want to use my material, you still want me to help with giving consultations and stuff with those other schools, and sure, I'm going to ask for a lot of money, but the money the information I give to you is going to be well worth more than what you've given to me. So, it was like he ended up sending me a letter where, I thought about your $10,000 advice, and I have other ways of making money. And he said the same thing in person, and I started laughing. I'm like, do you have a way? I'm not bragging on this stuff because I know you didn't watch this, but I said, do you have a way? I said, what you doing now? Are you making $10,000? How much are you making? You're not making much. If I sat down and I showed you how to make $10,000 on your terms, how to make $10,000, then you don't want to do it because you don't want to give up 10%. And I'm laughing. And I'll tell you the truth, that I made another video about that too, but that's the problem, that we have in the black neighborhood. Nobody wants to share money and stuff. And a lot of people who get these other big ideas and stuff, some people, they give information for free. Some people charge. That's why I say, if I give up this information and stuff on here, people tell me to write a book, but, you know, actually, I'm gonna do that too. I'm gonna write a book. But I'd rather get that $10,000, that 10%, and then I could do other things to help other brothers and stuff and everything, help myself too, and my family and stuff. But it's just interesting. So anyway, get back to the point because this is kind of long. Is that the using English to come over here is one way, but that's not the only way. If you want to do business in a country, it's just common sense. You need to learn the language, and you don't have to learn it in, how can I say it, you don't have to be fluent. But when you're working, you in the same environment every day, those words will become fluent, and it will be wise for you to take lessons and to learn Japanese because it really isn't that hard, especially once you figure out that they only have 5 sounds for the vowels and they never change, and everything have those same 5 vowels. Like our vowels, they just mix and stuff. So it's right there. That's just much easier than Japanese. I mean English, and then the characters. You'll remember it. Especially if you mailing people and using the kanji and stuff, and you're mailing your business people that you're working with, and you're using the same kanji and stuff, and it'll work out really easy. But and to your benefit. But then at the same time, other videos. I mean, if you're gonna work at these places, in degrees, how much money are you expecting to get? Because I'm gonna tell you, if you're smart, you're gonna make way more money teaching English um, than you will working in these offices. Especially just as a regular employee and things. The doctors out here, they get paid, like I hear the teachers, they get paid like $4,500 a month. And they working hard, and they got to go visit their homes and doing this and doing that, and you know, and they got a real easy job, I guess, I hear. But you can easily, I mean, you can easily make that same amount of money teaching English, and you don't even have to put in 40 hours, and you don't have to go visit, all these. I mean, you do have to go to work, but I mean, all the extra requirements, these activities that they have to do and all this stuff, you don't have to do that. So the whole thing is, what is your main point? You just want to get a job and work, say, hey, I'm working in Japan and I'm doing this and da 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 da, and I'm making, $3,000, $5,000, $6,000 a month, as an electrician or whatever they're making, because I know they're salarymen, and their salaries out here are not the same as a salaryman in the States. They don't get paid the same and things like that. So it's really interesting, and I'm going too long because I'm busy and stuff. But it's really interesting how people think and things like that. But there are a lot of business over here. I don't know. You guys don't probably watch all of my videos, and it's good that you start from the beginning and work your way to the front, because a lot of information that I've said back then still applies now, and um, kind of getting tired of saying the same things over and over again and things like that. But yeah, just think about it. What do you want to do? Because teaching English, I told the other day to one of my friends, I said, and this is, I said, that you could teach English, and you might have a housewife or a college student or a business woman. Well, I'm gonna use women and stuff, so I don't sound funny and stuff. That especially if you're a guy, the girls could do the same thing, but guys, you know, especially if you're real nice, handsome and stuff. And these girls, I mean, you could teach them English, and all of a sudden one day just say, hey, let's have an English lesson in Hawaii. They were like, what? You just pay me such and such amount of money. You pay for the trip, you pay for my room, everything. We just go to Hawaii, and let's immerse into the real English environment. Or, I mean, if you go to Hawaii, that's not so good because everybody really speaks Japanese. But I mean, if you take them to like LA or something, New York, where people don't actually speak English or things like that, and especially if they want to go, to Hawaii, okay, that's fine too. But you get paid. She'll pay everything, and they do that. You know what I'm saying? They do that. And you get to You get to go on these trips and stuff. So I'm not saying that everyone get a chance to do that because a lot of people just don't think it. And a lot of people probably don't believe it anyway. But there are a lot of opportunities in English. But then the whole thing is, it's like, do you even know what money is even about? I'm going to another. It's too long. That's something to. What is money about? I'm not a Christian or anything, but there is this passage in the Bible that says that this guy gave his kids some money or something. One guy buried it, and the other guys used it and invested in stuff. And when the father came back, or whoever it was came back, the other guy took the money out the ground and said, "Hey, I hid it." And the guy like, "What are you doing? You know, I didn't give it to you to hide it." So he took it and gave it to the one who was making the most money. And the whole thing is, what is money? Money is used to create more items and more money and more to advance technologies and to do these. So like they say, there's money in the hood. Like Two Shirts in one of the songs. I think it was the Ghetto song or something like that. He's saying there's money in the hood. And what are you guys doing with that money in the hood? You know what I'm saying? You guys can do like what these Japanese people doing and stuff, and open up your own study cram schools, have these kids going to them, and have people pay as they can, and you find some, there are a lot of people who are older, retired, and probably got a lot of knowledge and stuff, and that'll do that stuff. But what I'm saying is that, because I don't want to get off track and stuff, but what I'm saying is when you come out here and you work and you teach, you get a job teaching English, concentrate on the money, save the money, and then use the time that you have, to learn the Japanese and find the other jobs that you want to do. And there's a lot of stuff. I don't have time to do this, but there's a lot of times I say in my other videos. You might have an English visa, but if you want to open up a business or something, you can tell them and probably get your visa changed to something else, and you have a visa to do this business. Because once you get into Japan, there a whole bunch of stuff opens up for you. So don't when I hear people saying, "Well, I don't want to just teach English," and I'm thinking like, okay, fine, because what do you what is your actual purpose of coming to Japan? I hope it's to make money. Of course, to help teach English, because the way these teachers out here teaching, not all of them, but it's all messed up in Japan. But hopefully you're here to teach English. But your whole goal is to make money and save that money, and don't come out here in Japan and live like you living in the States. You don't do that. I've already told you guys on my other earlier videos what to do. And it's not even bad because that's what is expected and stuff. But if you want to come out here and you want to get into your field, that's fine, because you can teach the English, get into your field, and if you get real good, and if you're able to stay or get a visa, a business visa that allow you to stay and stuff like that, then you work with the government, get the requirements and everything, you can open up own your own business, and do that stuff. And if it's underneath, like let's see, like a finance business and stuff, I mean, and marketing and stuff, I mean, you could easily open up a marketing business out here in Japan if you know what you're doing and stuff. And finance, a lot of people, there's all kinds of finances and stuff that's going on out here and stuff. So, and I'm sure, it's not like saying you're trying to open up a hospital, but if you want to open up a hospital and you take the test and you hire, you just can't, you can hire just white Japanese people to do it. If you want to hire some of your friends and other people that's foreign, you want them to come in and do it, that's fine too. Most people probably won't do that, but still you can open up your own hospital, whatever, and people like say I'm wrong and you can't do that, but I can't see why you can't, and especially if you unless they just have rules saying no, you can't do it, which they might have them. I don't know. I doubt it, but even if you do, you can always still go into business with somebody and open up a hospital, and you just be on a board, and you go to the schools, Japanese schools, and they teach you and train you, the way they do it. It's like on-the-job training, and you do it right, you get your certificate, you go in there, and whatever, because it works like that. I'm talking too much. I got to go too, but um, think the way they teach us, to think, they really make us limit, our thinking and stuff. If you come out here and you teach in Japanese and you're making $2,700 a month, like one of my friends making 27 a month, but he lives in an apartment and he's paying a lot of money, and it's small. And I told him, I said, there's apartments that are bigger than yours and you can pay half the money. Go look for it, but he's still there, and why? You know what I'm saying? Why? So you can have that more. I mean, it's not even that he's getting paid $2,700, and he's working his butt off, but he's getting paid $2,700. But the whole thing is, he still has a way to save, but he's not doing it, and when it's like when like somebody was talking about me about my car and stuff like that, and I would, and the whole first thing that I said was I didn't come to Japan to be poor, and there are a lot of poor foreigners here in Japan, and I did not come here to be poor. Matter of fact, I just said that, but I came here, just to see what's going on because my wife asked me to come, my first Japanese wife, and when I got here, next day, got here at night, woke up next day, bam, I won $140, and every day just money, 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 and stuff like that, and of course, what she'll take it from me. No, I'm joking, whatever. You guys figure out which one happened. But still, it's, how can I say? I didn't come out here to uh, live like I lived in the United States. But even when I was in the States, I had a good life, but I was in the military and had to deal with all that stuff. But I didn't come out here to live paycheck to paycheck, and I came into a very good opportunity. And, basically what I'm trying to say to all you brothers out there, sisters too, whoever else may apply to, is that it's just the way you're thinking. I came out here and I got a job working in the bar and grill, and I was getting some money, and it wasn't a lot. I don't know. I think it probably was. I don't know. I forgot how much they were paying me though, but I know it was some money, some good money, I was happy and stuff, and it was real easy, and then they offered me to become a manager, but I couldn't. Then I quit, and then somebody else from there, when the management changed, this other person I got asked to do work with these restaurants by three different companies, and one manager. He opened up his own store. Then he asked me to come work for him, but I told him I couldn't because I was too busy. But he was the manager of the first restaurant, and I was there for 2 months. And they wanted me to become the manager because of the way I dealt with the people, because I know how to deal with people and stuff. And look at me, I'm all big and black and deal with the Japanese people and white people and everything. I just use my words and they just get in line. I might say attention, and they come to attention. They like this damn nigga, and nigga is a good word. You guys gotta study it. This dumb nigga telling me what to do, and I don't want to do it. But yet, they paying attention, you know. But I was nice, I wasn't. I was real nice, I just showed them what to do by example and stuff like that. So then he wanted me to work with him, but I couldn't, and I couldn't work at the store. He originally owned and managed, and I couldn't work at his store. And then there's this bar now that's called Shooters, and it's really big now. And the owner, he knew I was working at the other place, and he knew who I was, but I didn't know him. And he asked me to come work for him. He said he was going to give me this nice, um, some good money. I think it was like $10 an hour, and he was going to pay for my apartment. So the $10 would have been like free money. And I wouldn't. It was cool, but I didn't do it because at that time I had my own business. Now his place is him and like one of my best friends' brother. They just, oh man, my God, you guys. All I gotta say, and he is a foreigner, and he opened up a restaurant in Japan, and his restaurant now is just booming. He's probably a billionaire by now, and some other stuff he did. And I ain't even gonna tell you because I don't want anybody to know this information. But you know what? Um, you got to look at the 1% and start asking how did they get this money, and you know they got it from many different ways, but you know what, 99.99 other 99%, not the other 99%, right, the 99%, 1% did what they need to do, and the other 99% got played. And what a too short say, you know, and that's just life, you know. And you know, I'm joking about it and stuff like that, you know, and I'm not rich or anything, you know, and I could though, you know, I could be rich and stuff, but I don't. I understand how they did it, not the cruelty by killing people and stuff, but the other thing, you know, and you know that's is pretty cool, you know, and you know just investing and having people do this and making these ideas and it just compounding and paying all this money, and it's just really interesting, you know. And a lot of people might get mad at them, but you know what? If you don't read the small print, you don't keep books open, you know, you won't learn. And a lot of people out here, you know, they're just saying, you know, I don't want to come here and learn English. And I'd say, you come out here, you can teach English and you can open up restaurants. And I don't want to cook, you know, but you look at these people from India and they out here, they making bank cooking. Chinese people out here, I think they got a lot of Chinese restaurants out here. You know, they making bank. You know, I hear the Koreans are the ones that's running love hotels and stuff, and they making money because those things are full every weekend. You know, and it's a lot of people out here working and stuff. So, you know, what do you want? You know, I mean, do you just want a job and just come to Japan just to so you can get a job just to escape from what's going on in the States? Because what's going on in the States, you can change that stuff. Sure, you might get injured and stuff, but a lot of the stuff you can change. And if you can't change, you know, then whatever. Because I'm like I said, you know, I don't believe in Christ and stuff, but I think a lot of our emotions, our religious emotions and stuff, is control us. Get rid of that stuff and take some chances. You know, take some chances. You don't take nothing life-threatening chances, but take a chance. You know, because you'll be surprised how a lot of people are emotionally controlled, and if you know how to use that emotions, you know, to get them to do what you want, and of course you pay them so, because eventually they're gonna wake up one day or get tired one day and get angry. But if you teach them the right way, when they wake up, they'll thank you and stuff, you know. So, you know, using English to come over here is not the only way to get over here, you know, but it is a option that will reward you with cash. And you still, again, you have to ask, why do you want to come over here? Because you just want to come over here to escape. Then if you can just marry a Japanese person, go online and find somebody to marry. You just come over here and escape. And you know, if you marry a Japanese man, you don't have to work because they'll work. You know, but if you're smart, you know, you'll get your visa, you know, marriage visa. Marriage visa, you do almost anything you want, and you could become Japanese, learn the language, whatever. And it's just a lot of opportunities. So anyway, hopefully you guys will read, watch this stuff, you know. But you know, you know, because I'm always people are saying, well, you don't come straight out and say what you're saying, you know, because I don't want all this information to come out. And even if I did come straight out and tell you, it's not like either way, are you going to understand, you know? And I'll give you an example. Um, I said to one of my friends the other day that if you meet a Japanese girl and she's not really doing anything with her life, because they're not most of them got degrees. No, I wouldn't say most of them, but a lot of them do got degrees and stuff. Probably most of them got degrees, and but there's some who don't. Let's say you meet one who don't have a degree, and she's just working at a convenience store and making like $1,500 a month. You love her and everything, you know. And then you can say you end up getting married because you fall in love with the beauty, and then after a while, you know, she's just doing the same thing. Come home, whatever, house may be a mess, whatever. Then one day you're gonna wake up, and you're gonna like, oh my God, I can't believe live with this woman. Blah, blah, blah. Then you got two options. You can just go out and do whatever, or you can get yourself together. But then you can turn around here and say, you know, baby, I love you and everything. Why don't you go to school? You know, and you could do this, you could do that. Encourage them, because a lot of people just need that, just that little bit of encouragement. And you never know. You don't know how much money she got. It's not like she's gonna tell you, you know, and who she knows, and she probably end up going to school, you know, because now she's motivated, you know, and get her BA, master's, whatever, and may get into fashion or whatever, because in Japan there's a secret that I can't tell you, but it's in my video stuff, and I'm going to tell you again. And I'll tell you, you can make, well, now before you could, but you probably still can. You can make, if you do right and you bust your butt, you can make $1 million in 6 months. At least in a year out here, and that's probably everywhere. Yeah, well, I don't know everywhere. I know in Japan though, because back in the days it was like that. I don't know, but I'm still thinking you can make a lot of money. And all I'm just saying, just open your eyes. Don't be so narrow-minded and stuff, because you're gonna miss out on a lot. I gotta go. I gotta be at work for 5 minutes. I gotta shower and clean up. But if you want to work in your own field, and you got a master's, how much experience you got, how much you know. And if you want to become you like, well, I want to be a manager in this position, whatever. Why manage it when you can own it? Why manage it when you can own it? And you do your job anyway. I don't know. The point of the story was, like I said before, my pachinko, is that I had an opportunity to win money, and I passed it up. And if there's opportunities, and don't pass them up. And if you got a computer at home, you can make a lot of money. You can make a lot of money. There's a lot of stuff you can do. And you got to get that stuff out your mind that everybody hate black people, because they don't. They probably just don't like uneducated people who are disrespectful, who don't speak properly, and who got low self-esteem. I mean, you can tell by the conversation and things. Like, I tell people, like, yeah, we're off the mat because do you love black men videos, which I need to start doing those again. But I want to change up the questions, that's why. But the whole thing, I forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, you guys probably know what I was going to say, but I got to go on my own. Anything else I got to say about that? No, it's just there are a lot of opportunities even in the States. Just stop look more to what you can do, instead of at what people, or what you think what people are not allowing you to do. There's a lot of things you can do. I mean, some people are like, well, I want to be exclusion. They're not hiring black people because this neighborhood's all white. I'm like, okay, fine. Well, what can you? What are they hiring you doing? Well, well, I can work at the local department store. I'm like, okay, we'll do that. And do that. And next thing you know, I'm a manager. I'm like, all right, so you talking to the boss? Yeah, he said, he's giving me all this money. I'm like, well, have you ever thought about opening up another store? Well, I never thought about that. Well, just talk to him. If he trusts you that much with all this money and stuff, open up another brand of his store in another state. Oh, I should do that, huh? I'm like, I don't know what you should do. At least think about it, though. That's your life. I don't know what you want to do. And you do that, and people you'd be surprised. And it's not even, and the whole thing, though, they're always saying, like, this one guy just sent me this message, and he said, which I'm going to read this while these guys on Skype going off, blowing up. And this guy said, his name is, I ain't going to say his name, Tippin 9012. He said, it's funny how some of you guys, he didn't say black guys, but I guess he must talk about black guys, blame on the white man. I'm gonna read it like he said. It is funny how some of you guys blame on the white man for putting gun, drug in your hood. So I guess his English is really screwed up. But and I replied and I said, you're right. We can blame them for putting the drugs and guns and whatever in our hoods, but it's not their fault that we went into business with them, because they could have just dumped it in. We just looked at it, ignored it, and kept on going. And they might come up putting, you better sell this, but you can be honest, hustling on the corner. Yo, bro, I got this Glock 9, and it's worth this money. You want to buy it? And you're like, huh? And no, it's okay. I don't want to buy it, man. Keep your Glock, and but people just did different things, to they just went into business, and it was I guess it turned out to be a bad business choice. So we can't blame them. We can blame them for bringing those things to the hood because they did bring it. We didn't make them, but we can't blame them for going into business. And even and you can say, well, this person was weak and they was stressed out. Well, she got on their knees and prayed a little harder. And it sounds kind of cold, but whatever. It's the truth. So anyway, like I said, and what does the story have to do? It's your business choices. What do you want to do? How is it going to pan out? What are you in business for? Just to make cash? Just to make cash and don't invest it? And so anyway, I gotta go. I'm late. So anyway, think about it. English. If you come over here, you're making 5 G's a month teaching English at some office or some university, that's fine. But when if you only got 2 year tenure or whatever, then you got to do other things. But while you're in there making a $5,000 a month, and all those people you're meeting, what are you doing? You there. You in a university, Japanese university, you teaching English, and all you hear is Japanese, and you're not perfect in it. And I got that. That's my fault too. My Japanese sucks, but it's cool. It's not cool. I gotta get that straightened out. But anyway, I'm out. Peace.